Everyone speaks about love as if it is enough on its own, as if love excuses everything, as if worry proves devotion, as if being watched, guided, corrected, and held too tightly is just another form of care. But love should not feel like a room that grows smaller every day. It should not make your voice quieter. It should not make your body tense. It should not teach you to ask permission for every breath. Real love may be strong. It may be protective, but it should still feel safe. This is an old story from a kingdom where people confused protection with love. It is the story of a young woman who almost gave her life to a man everyone admired, and the moment that showed her the difference between being cherished and being controlled. In the kingdom of Surat, the king had only one child, a daughter named Lyra. When she was 9, her mother died. After that, the palace became quiet, and one person slowly stepped into every empty space, a young captain named Varan. He was respected, disciplined, and deeply trusted by the king. At first, he simply watched over the princess. He walked beside her in crowded halls. He stood near the doors when strangers visited. He reminded her to eat when she forgot. People said she was fortunate. He protects her like a shield. To a child who had lost her mother, that sounded comforting. Years passed. Varan stayed close. If Lyra wanted to ride beyond the palace, he chose the road. If a noble spoke with her too long, Varan later explained why that man could not be trusted. If she received letters, he asked who had written them. He always said the same thing: "I only want you safe." The words were gentle. That made them harder to question. Do not go there. Do not speak to him. Do not stay out too long. Little by little, her life became smaller. Not suddenly at all. A door rarely slams shut all at once. It closes quietly, a little each day. By the time Lyra was 20, everyone in the kingdom believed she would marry Varan. The king had grown weak. The court wanted stability, and no one seemed stronger than the captain who had guarded the princess for years. He loves her, people said. Lyra tried to believe it, but something in her never rested. Why did her shoulders relax only when he left the room? Why did peace return only when no one was watching? She never spoke these questions aloud until the day something small changed everything. At the far edge of the palace grounds stood the royal stables. One afternoon, Lyra wandered there after a long council meeting where older men discussed her future as if she were not present. In the yard, she saw a young stable girl kneeling beside a white mare. The horse was restless, breathing fast, its ears sharp with tension. A rope lay on the ground. Yet the girl did not pull the horse. She did not shout. She simply waited. After a moment, the mare stepped closer on its own. "What are you doing?" Lyra asked. "Waiting," the girl said. "For what?" "For her to understand I won't trap her." Lyra glanced at the rope. "You train her without holding her?" The girl nodded. "If I grip too fast, she fights. If I corner her, she panics. But when she learns my presence doesn't mean danger, she becomes calm." Lyra stood very still. Before she could answer, another voice crossed the yard. Varan was walking toward them. "You left the council," he said sharply. Then he saw the horse. "You should not be here." He took her wrist not violently but firmly. "Come." She followed. But the words from the stable yard stayed with her. A frightened creature becomes gentle when it learns your presence does not mean danger. That night she asked herself something she had avoided for years. Why did safety always feel so much like fear? Soon after, the king announced the wedding. The palace celebrated. Servants prepared the halls. Nobles sent gifts. Priests set the ceremony. Only Lyra felt the walls closing around her. Varan became even more attentive. He checked the guest list himself. He dismissed attendants he did not trust. He instructed guards that Lyra should not leave the palace grounds alone. Again, he called it love. Again, others praised his devotion. One evening, Lyra asked him quietly, "When we are married, will everything always be decided this way?" Varan looked at her calmly. "I decide because I understand danger, and you do not. You do not see it soon enough. What if I wish to go somewhere alone? You will not need to. What if I disagree with you?" He answered gently. "Then I would hope you trust me enough to know I am right. No anger, no threat. Only certainty, as if her life were already his to arrange." "And if I say no?" she asked. Varan smiled faintly. "You are frightened. Tomorrow will settle you." The wedding day arrived. According to royal tradition, the bride had to cross the lower court on horseback and approach the temple alone. The white mare chosen for the ceremony was the same one from the stables. When the bells rang, the court gathered. Lyra stepped into the courtyard. Suddenly, a banner snapped in the wind. The horse startled. Varen rushed forward and seized the reins. The more he pulled, the more the mare panicked. "Stand back," he shouted. From the side of the court, the stable girl stepped forward. "Let go," she said. Varen ignored her. The mare fought harder. "Let go," the girl said again. Finally, Lyra spoke. "Release the reins." The entire court fell silent. Varen looked at her in shock. Slowly, under the eyes of the kingdom, he loosened his grip. The stable girl approached the horse gently. Within moments, the animal calmed, not because it was forced, but because it was no longer trapped. Lyra watched the mare breathe again, and suddenly everything was clear. The priest lifted his voice. "Princess, do you come here of your own free will?" The question had been asked at royal weddings for centuries. Most people heard it as ritual. That day it sounded like truth. Lyra looked at Varen. Then she answered, "No." The courtyard froze. She stepped back. For the first time, everyone saw it clearly: not rebellion, not cruelty, but a woman choosing space where control had lived. The wedding ended that day, and the kingdom finally understood something it had ignored for years. Many people mistake intensity for safety. They confuse being watched with being valued. They confuse jealousy with devotion. They confuse control with care. But love should not make you smaller. It should not make you afraid of your own choices. It should not punish your freedom. It should not feel calm only when you obey. Safe love does not grip harder when you pull away. Safe love does not need to corner you to keep you near. It gives room. It listens. It lets truth breathe. That does not make it weak. It makes it real. So if you ever find yourself asking why love feels like tension, why your body relaxes only when the other person is gone, why peace returns only in their absence, do not ignore that. Your heart understands danger before your mind is ready to name it. Listen, because love should feel safe. And the day you truly understand that may be the day your life begins again. If this story stayed with you, even for a moment, if something in it felt quietly true, carry that feeling with you today. Sometimes a single story reminds us of something our heart already knew. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like so it can reach someone who might need it. Share it with a person who deserves a love that feels calm, gentle, and safe. And subscribe for more stories about love, courage, and the quiet truths that can change the way we live. I'll see you in the next story.